Welcome to the Tech Ranch, where we explore the world of living with technology. Get ready to take a deep dive into the latest gadgets, apps, and innovations with your hosts, the Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson, and his trusty co-host, Steve Bakken. Join us on this exciting journey, and don't forget to visit thetechranch.com for even more exclusive content. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Marlo and Steve to the Tech Ranch.
And our in-studio guest today is none other than my wife, Alice Anderson. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
It's in here. Everything's good.
Yeah, it is good. And I thought, I'm probably not the most frugal person in the world. Because I'm always the person who runs out and buys something the first, especially technology, right? I'm out there buying stuff before it goes on sale or whatever, because I just want to use it right away. You, on the other hand, like to shop deals and that type of thing. I'm not sure what's worse, because if it says sale on it, you're attracted to it, and then you buy stuff maybe you don't need to. I don't know.
Probably I do that sometimes.
Okay.
I'm trying really hard this last year to not do that. Just because it's on sale, not buy it.
Yep.
I'm trying really hard to not buy things we don't.
But you're really good at taking advantage of loyalty programs and that type of thing. And, with it being a new year, and I would imagine most people think about their finances around the first of the year. I know I always do.
I would think so, especially having just come through Christmas, when most people spend a lot more money than the rest of the year.
Right.
Everybody's thinking about it now. Plus, we all have our property tax bill coming and
lots of stuff like that.
Well, yeah. And, winter
heating bills.
Absolutely.
It's just more expensive to live right now.
And we have to pay our income tax shortly. Unless you're some of those people. But, my question to that is, what is this refund of which you speak? Because we never see that.
No. But when it comes to, there's a lot of things. I mean, for example, we all still have to eat. We still all have to heat our houses and have electricity and those type of things. So, and in the shopping space, there's just a lot of great apps and that type of thing that you can utilize to save money. So how do you, when you go shopping, when you're purposeful, when you're actually, I know there's the browsing thing too, right? But if you're purposeful about it, there are ways that you can really save a lot of money, isn't there?
Yes, there are. Probably my favorite one is the Ibotta app.
Okay.
I have that on my phone.
And spell that, if you know.
Ibotta.
Ibotta. Okay.
Ibotta.
Okay.
I have it on my phone and on my iPad.
Okay.
And before I go to Walmart or Sam's or really any of the big stores, I look at my Ibotta app to see what kinds of deals they have this week. And they don't have, per se, a sale, but what they have is cash back on certain products.
Okay.
And sometimes you can get something for half price. Sometimes you get, a $10 item. Sometimes you get $2 back. Sometimes on a very small item, you get 10 cents back. So a lot of it doesn't look like it's great, but it adds up. And what happens is, if you buy the products that they have those deals on, you get that amount of money put into an account on Ibotta. And then you can cash it out directly to your bank account when you feel like you've got enough there to make it worth cashing. Now, the problem with Ibotta is a lot of times, at least early on when I first started doing it, I would a lot of times buy products I'd never heard of just because they had a deal. It was buy it and get the full purchase price back, or buy it and get 50% back. So we tried a lot of products that I otherwise never would have tried. I've gotten smarter.
But isn't that kind of the purpose of it? I mean, if a company wants to get their product out there, they'll give you a deal on it to try it, right?
That's exactly their purpose. But I've gotten a little smarter about that. I really think harder about what I'm buying. And I'm not doing it just because I'm getting something back on it. The cool thing is a lot of weeks when you shop, you get 10 cents back just for having a grocery receipt. Well, it's not much, but over time that adds up.
Sure. So tell me about, there was a time, and maybe there still is, I don't know, about coupons and things. I mean, the newspaper used to be full of coupons, and I don't think that's such a thing anymore. But are there coupons yet? I mean, is there a way to get rebates and all of this stuff in today's digital world?
Rebates are, there used to be all those grocery rebates, but that's a lot of years ago, where if you bought a bottle of Heinz ketchup, there was a rebate offer out there. If you sent it in, you got a coupon for a free one, or you got the X number of dollars and cents back. I don't see those anywhere anymore. I really don't see mail-in rebates anywhere other than that one store that says they give you 11% off. But you always got it in the rebate form, and then you get it.
Well, there you go. But
you get it in a coupon that's on their store.
Right, but a lot of people who shop there, that makes a lot of sense.
It's great for them.
Yeah, so that works out pretty well.
Yes.
So they're very successful at doing their rebate type of thing.
Yes, they are.
So what about like coupons? I mean, are there coupons out there?
Very few are. Most of the time now, if you find a coupon, it's on a product at the store. Buy this product, use this coupon while you're.
So it's like right there, it's taped onto it, or there's a digital thing. Okay.
It's stuck on the 12-pack of Diet Coke or whatever it is you're buying. There will sometimes be a coupon stuck on there. But read them carefully, because while they're there, then the last one I saw was on a 12-pack of Diet Coke. But the very fine print said it didn't just work on the Diet Coke. You also had to buy some other thing.
I see.
For the coupon to work.
I see.
So read them carefully.
Yeah. So what about, do you feel then that like the Ibotta app and the loyalty programs, because like Walmart and Target, they have their own loyalty too, and you get some discounts there, right?
They do. I'm not real familiar with those.
Okay.
Because I'm a Walmart shopper. I rarely shop Target.
So I have a CVS card.
Right.
I pay $7 a month for this thing or whatever. So I'm paying for this, but then I get like $10 a month in free stuff.
Right.
And then they have all these 2-for-1 deals and whatever else if you're a member.
Right. And the receipt.
I love the receipt.
A half mile every time.
When I go and check out, they have the self-checkout there now, and they ask, do you want a printed receipt or a digital receipt? I'm like, I want the printed one. I want to see the half a roll of paper come out of that thing. That is so hilarious to me when they do that.
But the back of that receipt always has more coupons on it.
They do. They're very, very good at that too.
And that's really where you find the most these days is on back of receipts.
Okay. So you're not finding them like in newspapers or anything like that anymore.
Not so much.
Okay. Yeah, that's really too bad. We'll get more into that after the break, everybody.
Welcome back to the Tech Ranch. Let's get back to discovering the latest in technology with the guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Tech Ranch. And I have none other than my lovely wife on the show with me today. And it isn't because Mr. Steve Bakken could make it, but, maybe it is. I don't know. But I think he's off doing some dog show thing or something over the holidays here. So
sounds like fun.
Yeah, I think his wife is also at some bowl game or something. So they're having a nice time over the holidays here, which is great. But it gives us a chance to talk about, because I think saving money is really at the top of everybody's mind right now, and where can you cut some expenses or earn some things or whatever. And we just got through the Ibotta app, which Alice uses a lot. Are there any other money saving apps that you use?
There are. I used to also use Checkout 51.
Okay.
But I wasn't as crazy about how that one works. With that one, when I come home from the store and have to scan the UPC codes or take pictures of the UPC codes off of all the products. And to me, that was just, I guess I'm too lazy for that.
I think one of the things with shopping, if you go to a place a lot, if you frequent the same grocery store, if you frequent the same gas station and they have loyalty programs, you should probably take advantage of those because it's not, I mean, for the 3 or 5 minutes it takes to join the loyalty program, I'm going to guess that you're going to, save quite a bit or at least a little bit. I mean, you're already going there, right? If you can save 5% or 10% or get a free car wash occasionally or whatever, I mean, those things add up pretty fast.
Absolutely, they do. Our kids have joined a loyalty program. Can't remember the name of it, but it's with a certain kind of gas stations.
Okay.
And they get X number of points for every gallon of gas that they fill at those stations. Well, it's not just one station. It's all of them with the same brand.
Like the Fuel Savers card or whatever it's called.
It's not that.
Yeah.
It's something different than that.
Okay.
But they get a certain number of points every time they fill gas. Well, they can cash those points in for gas or for anything inside that store. Any kind of inside sales. They can buy a case of beer. They could buy a 12-pack of soda. They can go in and get a coffee. They can buy candy bars, potato chips, whatever that store sells. They can use those points, buy those points.
Okay. Well, that's it.
Or they can use them for gas.
That's kind of a cool thing.
Yes, it is.
So I guess the other question that I have is when you're part of these loyalty programs or the Ibotta app or whatever, right? And you have a credit card or a debit card that gives you cash back, points or whatever. Are you able to use those in tandem? All right. So talk about that a little bit.
Okay. I use my Allegiant credit card because every dollar I spend, I get points. I use that card faithfully for everything I do. And I bank the points and then I can use those for us to travel cheaply or free. We took 2 trips last year. In June, we flew to Arizona. And in August, we flew to Vegas. Both of those trips, our airline tickets were free because I had on my Allegiant card.
So they add up a little bit.
They add up really quickly. And the other thing I do is every Monday morning, I pay off my credit card so I'm never paying interest on it. So I'm getting the benefits without paying extra to have them.
Right. So I think that's a good thing. I noticed on my American Express card too, because of end of year stuff, I was in there and looking at it and I didn't realize this, but they had like 100 different companies that offer like cash backs and things like that. If you use that card, like my American Express card, when I'm in those places and I'm going through there and I'm like, I eat here all the time. Why am I not, but I think a person has to be diligent and go in there because they're only like good for 3 months at a time, but you can get, $5 off a meal or $25 off on your next $100 purchase or whatever it is. These things are pretty significant, but you got to go in and click on them to take advantage of them.
Absolutely. Same way with that button.
Okay.
Click on the product.
So you have to kind of engage with it a little bit, but again, the savings can be significant if, for a couple minutes worth of time, it can be pretty good. Any other money saving tips that you have off the top of your head that might be interesting or even ways that you can make a couple extra bucks when you're doing these things?
Well, those are my favorite ways to save.
Okay.
Bank the points where you can, like you do with your American Express.
Yep.
We flew to London for almost no money left.
Yeah, that's true.
In September, because you had all those points in your American Express.
Right.
Those are the kinds of things.
But we do it because we like to travel.
Absolutely. That's why we use those cards.
But there are cash back options too. And I know like debit cards have those cash back options too. Like if you use your credit, use your debit card, when you're buying stuff, you get 1% back or 1.5% back. I mean, I think you have to shop those around a little bit.
I think so too, because I think they're all different.
They are all different.
And they all offer different amounts of cash back. So it's something.
Yeah. And of course, I don't know if a lot of people know this, and we only know this because we're in business, but when you use a debit card, where you, like if you go into a store and you put a debit card in and it asks for your PIN number to do that, it charges the retailer a lot less money for that credit card transaction than it does for a regular, basically a credit card, right? Because credit card fees can be up to 3% of the purchase. So it's very, very expensive for businesses to offer that service. Although I can tell you right now that the amount of cash we have in our till in our business is very, very small compared to what it used to be 5 or 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Because nobody uses it anymore.
Almost nobody pays.
Yeah. So it just become absorbed into the cost of your goods. The things that you buy, that Snicker bar costs 3% more or 5% more than it did a few years ago because everybody uses credit cards now. So, but as a result of that, it also, all these credit cards have points back to you, or not all of them, but many of them do, to be competitive.
I think most of them do.
Yeah.
One way or another, you get something back on. I know, Discover has a point system.
They do. Yep.
And, you can, when it gets to whatever you think is a worthwhile amount of cash, you can get a gift certificate for your favorite store, restaurant.
And sometimes those gift certificate things too, they have deals on them. Like you can, spend $20 worth of points to get $25 worth of something at your favorite restaurant or whatever.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's worthwhile to take some time and learn your programs, because you can probably save $500 or $1,000 or earn a trip to London like what we did last year. So you never know what you're going to be able to get.
Absolutely. Let's take.
And we're back. Don't miss a minute of the Tech Ranch as we explore the cutting edge of tech with Marlo and Steve. For more exclusive content, visit thetechranch.com.
And welcome back, everybody. My wife, Alice Anderson, in studio. You smile when I say that. I guess that's a good sign yet, isn't it?
That's a good sign.
At least you're not frowny when I say that. So we're talking about how to save money and using technology to do it. Because when you shop and things now, you don't have those coupons anymore that used to get out of the paper. There aren't the rebate programs that there used to be. I don't know. When you're the grocery shopper, I guess, are there the kind of deals like they used to be with these type of programs?
Well, there are still deals out there. You just have to search for them a little bit more.
Okay.
You can't walk into the grocery store and expect that it's going to be front and center in front of you, blasting in your face.
Okay.
You need to work programs.
Sure. So during the break, you had stated that you had two others.
Yes, I do.
That you had thought of. So tell us about those.
The first one is called My Points.
Okay.
It's online. And every day you can do 5 things that take you a grand total between the 5. You probably need 12 seconds to do it.
Okay.
And you earn a point for each of those things. If you do 5 of them, you get a 5-point bonus. Now, 5 or 10 or 50 or 100 points on My Points are not worth much. However, if you're an eBay shopper, you get a point for every dollar you spend there. If you're a Walmart shopper, you get 3 points for every dollar you spend online with Walmart. So if you're going to be buying those things anyway, bank the points.
Gotcha.
And when point values get up there, you can use those points to buy gift cards to coffee shops, to all kinds of places. You can buy airline gift cards from My Points.
And again, you can use these in tandem with your credit cards.
Absolutely.
So you're getting double the points here.
Yep. Both sides of that.
Okay.
To save the money.
Gotcha. And then you had also My Points, and then what's the other one?
Well, the other one is Sam's Club.
Okay.
Buy your gift cards from Sam's Club.
I would imagine Costco is probably the same here.
Yes, they just have different ones.
Okay.
But I often get accused of booking a lot of Disney cruises.
Okay. That's true.
Yeah, So we pay for all our Disney cruises with gift cards.
Okay.
Disney gift cards that we buy at Sam's Club. because we get a discount on the gift card when we buy it. Then we use those discounted gift cards to pay for the cruise and for any onboard shopping things we wish to do. While we're on that cruise, we buy what they call a placeholder, that the next time we cruise, we give them that placeholder number and we get 10% off our cruise, and we use the discounted gift cards again.
Okay.
So we save a lot of money on those lease.
And those places that have those gift cards, there's a lot of local gift cards there too, right?
There are. Probably my favorite local one to get is Pizza Ranch.
Okay.
Because I get $50 in Pizza Ranch gift cards for $40.
Okay. So the local ones, you can actually save money there too. And again, you're using your credit card and getting points there too. So you're saving money and you're making some points on your thing. Yes. So yeah.
I'm getting the points on my credit card. I'm getting the discount on the gift card. So when we go to Pizza Ranch to eat, we already have that discount there.
So do they just honor the gift card regardless? I mean, if it's like, because, and I'm just going to pick on the Pizza Ranch. I always call it the Chicken Ranch for whatever reason.
Because we love chicken.
Yeah. Well, they probably don't want the Chicken Ranch notoriety.
Probably not, but we do love chicken.
But anyway, so, I mean, they have deals for like seniors, for example, right? So are you able to use your gift card for that deal at the place too? Or if they had like a $5 discount on Tuesdays, and I'm just making that up. I don't know that, but there's no blackouts or anything like that. You can straight up use
nothing of the sort. The gift card is just like cash.
Okay. So I guess kind of what I'm getting to here is that if you're needing to save a few dollars because you went crazy at Christmas time and you want to go out for dinner at Pizza Ranch or whatever, look for the days when they might have a deal. When Johnny, what was it?
I think on Tuesdays, Pizza.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So perfect, right?
Take your gift cards, take your kids, and go then.
Yeah, that's a great idea. What's the place we used to go to on Tuesdays that had the Italian place in Bismarck that's not there anymore? It was right by, why is it that we're not remembering this name of this place now? But they had the platters that you could share a platter.
Yes.
Yeah. I got Johnny something in my head. That's not right. Carino's. Johnny Carino's.
That's
there you
right.
go. Yeah.
That's right.
And same type of thing there. On Tuesdays, they have that unbelievable deal. Well, if you could get these discounted gift cards, the point I'm getting to is that there's lots of these. Lots of restaurants, lots of places have deals on a particular day because it's a little slower for them. So they want to bring more traffic in. So they drop a deal out there and use your discounted coupons that you got or debit or gift cards. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Well, a lot of Domino's pizza at work for lunch.
Yeah.
Simply because, first of all, if you order 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas, you get them for $6.99 each.
Yep.
But I buy them with the discounted gift cards from Sam's Club.
Oh, there you go.
So we're getting more discount than that off of
it.
For $20, we can feed 6 people for lunch.
By the way, all of you businesses that we're mentioning out there, you can just start sending us. We'll take food. We are happy to get paid the food for the referrals.
We'll work for food all the time.
And I know everybody, there's a lot of people that listen to the program around the country. We're just picking on our local stuff here. But, if you live in Michigan or, wherever you're living at, you have the same type of opportunity. We're just sharing local stuff. So you understand that if you go to a place that sells gift cards, you have local businesses there that also have those gift cards in these places. So it's a great way to save.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And, maybe it doesn't seem like a lot up front, but again, those things all add up. And, it'll be interesting to see how much we save a year doing those things. Should maybe keep track this year.
I have a quick list here of cashback apps before we run out of time here. So Ibotta was first on the list. Best for grocery rebates, Fetch Rewards, best for earning on any receipt, Shopkick, best for lowest cash out minimum of $2. Checkout 51, like you were talking about, best for redeeming offers up to 5 times. Swagbucks, best for earning by completing surveys and tasks. Aisle, best for text-based cashback offers. And then Brand Club, best for syncing with popular retailers like Amazon, Target, Walmart, Kroger, Chewy, and more. So those are the other apps that are out there. And we're almost out of time already for this segment. We'll be back after the break, everybody.
Thanks for staying with us on the Tech Ranch. Let's rejoin Marlo and Steve as they guide us through the fascinating world of technology.
And welcome back, everybody. We are talking about how to save money with your technology. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. Alice Anderson is in studio with us today. And we've gone through a little bit about coupons and buying gift cards and the credit card rebates and cash back type of things. But there's other ways that you can save money too. And one of my favorites, I discovered this by accident at CES, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that.
4 years already.
We ended up doing an interview with them, and they were a very young company. And I was so impressed with this idea because nowadays, because you don't use cash a whole lot, Alice and I have always been savers of change.
Yes.
We have, we'd always throw our change into a jar, and we would always take those in occasionally to the bank or whatever. But as you know, we just don't use cash like we used to. And so the ability to save change has kind of disappeared because of that, right?
Yes, it has.
So Acorns has kind of come to the rescue with that. So what Acorns does is you sync your Acorns account. You sign up for an Acorns account. It's like a bank in a way, and a financial institution, I guess you could say. And then you sync your credit cards, debit cards, whatever you want to your account. And then it rounds up for you. So if you were to go out to dinner, go out to lunch, and it costs you $16.08, 92 cents of that would be, so it would round up to $17. Just like you take that 92 cents and throw it in the jar at home, it now rounds it up and takes that 92 cents and puts it into your savings account on Acorns. It's really, really clever. And then on top of that, after you get to a certain dollar amount, and it's not a lot, every $5, after you have $5 saved up, it pulls it out of your bank account is how it works. And then it invests it for you. So
incredible.
So on top of, the problem with having money sitting in the jar at home is it's not working for you. It just sits there and loses value, right? It looks pretty, right? But here in Acorns, you actually start to put some money in, you start making some money on this stuff. And I actually have to say that this has been very, very good thing for me because I buy a lot of coffee and things like that and these lower amount type of things. And I used to have a lot of change I throw in there. I didn't realize how significant this was until the Acorns thing. I mean, it's many thousands of dollars a year that I squirrel away. Clever with Acorns, right? Squirrel away. So I've been very, very impressed with Acorns, and I refer people to Acorns all the time. This is a great way to save money.
Absolutely.
And then if you want, you can have your there's other retirement vehicles that they have in there. If you want to put $100 a week or whatever into a savings account or a 401 or a KIOG or just to save, you can do that as well. So you can use it as your retirement account as well. And you can choose if you want low, medium, or high risk on these things or whatever you want to do. So it's pretty impressive. And again, check it out, Acorns, ACORNS. And you have an Acorns account as well.
I do. And I have a certain amount coming out of my paycheck every week going into there. And I'm doing the rounding up. And it's kind of amazing how fast that account has grown.
Yeah.
Because, and it's painless.
That's the thing about Acorns. Yeah. That's the thing I like about Acorns is that, generally I would be throwing that change into a jar anyway. Right. So, I love it. I just really love it. There's other things too. Like there's Robinhood. I have not used Robinhood. So I've used Robinhood a little bit. I've bought some crypto with Robinhood. Not that I've done well.
Yeah, let's not talk about how that's gone.
Oh my goodness. And now as I looking back on it, I wish I would have hung on to it a little bit more, but like Doge, for example, I bought it. I think it was going to go up a few years ago. And of course it went the other way, and I finally just got rid of it.
Well,
and then of course
we're cutting your losses.
Yeah, pretty much. And then
they're all waiting.
Oh my goodness. I give up. If anybody wants advice on crypto, please come ask me and do the exact opposite that I tell you, because everything I have predicted with crypto has been wrong.
Yes.
Literally everything. I'm not usually wrong on a lot of stuff, but on crypto, I have not yet been able to figure that out. And I thought I was the cat's meow with it a couple of years ago, because I wrote a little AI agent and I was letting that agent trade for me. And one morning I woke up and it was all gone. Then I'm like, no.
We haven't saved a lot of people.
Oh my goodness. It's been tough.
That's
yeah. But there are things out there, right? So, there's all kinds, and I would imagine that I know we keep talking about acorns here, but there's probably other similar type of apps out there. We just are familiar with acorns.
Yes, I know there are others. I couldn't tell you their names because I've not bothered to dig into any of them.
Yeah. And we have
so happy with acorns that.
Yep. And I mean, I have a bank account with Bluevine for one of my companies, and that works really well if you have partners or whatever that are in different states or whatever, and you need to have that virtual type of bank account. And I think more and more local banks are getting to that now too, where you can do online banking and that type of thing. But there are options there as well, and they offer some great, time saving type of things and savings type of opportunities as well in those. So do some work, do some investigation. But both Alice and I are 100% check out acorns, because this is a great little tool.
Definitely.
Yep.
And one day we're going to, well, maybe. I keep saying one day we'll retire, but I'm afraid it's on the day of my funeral.
Just make sure you follow her.
Yeah,
so we know that you're not working. Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think another way that you can save some money, and I know we're going to run out of time in this part here before we have to take another break, but artificial intelligence can help you a lot here too.
It's a real time save lot.
Yep. And it's and I just asked ChatGPT, how can I use ChatGPT to save money? And it gave me a list of some things that you can use, and we can dive into this a little bit more after the break. But I think that thinking about artificial intelligence, and I think the first thing would be like, if you're wanting to put together a budget, not that I've ever done that, but if you want to do that, use an AI like a ChatGPT and put it in all your monthly expenses and the things you've used, that you've bought over the month or whatever. It will quickly put together a summary of what you spent your money on and help you towards that budget process. And we'll talk more about that after the break.
If you have any questions or want to suggest topics for future shows, visit thetechranch.com and send us your thoughts. You can also listen to past episodes and watch exclusive interviews not featured on the radio show. Be sure to follow Marlo and Steve on social media by clicking the links at thetechranch.com. Until next time, keep exploring the world of living with technology. The Tech Ranch.
Chris Vandeman and I are talking about what our expectations are for tech in 2025. So have you thought about where you think this year is going to go from like right now to how things will look at Christmas time in 2025?
One thing is drone technology.
Okay.
And this is just me thinking out loud, all this issue about the drones over New Jersey, and you have all these large drones. I think the consumer drone market is missing out on some of these easier to fly drones. They always talk about how, these are so easy to fly, but they're these larger devices. I have a small, less than a pound drone, one of those that doesn't have to be registered with the FAA. and it would always wind up on the neighbor's because
At least it's retrievable there.
yeah, it didn't have enough smarts to auto level and hover.
Right.
And it's like either that or I didn't know what I was doing, which is more likely.
That's pretty
yeah,
funny.
I mean, I think stuff like that. Did we have the small selfie drone here? I've flown that in the house a couple of times. It does okay, but I think that's something that might be coming up. As those auto leveling software gets a little bit more.
Well, and I noticed I seen one yesterday. It's a larger drone, 4K camera, had a spotlight on it, like if you're for search and rescue type of stuff, right? And I'm like, oh my goodness, this thing looks amazing. Had the follow me and all this other stuff, right? You could order separate battery packs for it. And I'm like, this thing must be, like thousands and thousands of dollars. So I picked the 3 battery pack because I just wanted to know what this thing was going to cost. The 3 batteries was $219. I thought considering what I have paid for drones in the past, I've never spent, outside of maybe drones like what you're talking about, under $1. I have a few of those too, and I've never been able to fly the darn things, by the way. So there you go. I've learned to fly my Star Trek Model 1, by the way, the Enterprise. It even makes the music.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun. It's kind of cool. But it's an odd thing to fly. But the prices for a lot of these chips and things have come down, or they're not. Maybe they don't have to use the newest chips anymore, which is how you get bargains, right? They're last generation chips, but they're great for maybe GPS yet or whatever on a drone. So now all of a sudden, instead of spending $100 for the chip, you can get it for $8 because it's the last iteration, but it works for a drone. So that's what I think is happening here, because to me that was unheard of to see a drone for that kind of money. And it has all the features you're talking about. It has, anti-collision and all this other stuff built into it. And I'm like, how are they doing this for $200?
Right.
It just seemed incredible. So anyway, I think you're right. I think we're going to see more and more drones. I think drone delivery is going to be a big deal this year. You're starting to see some of that starting to appear across the country. And as companies like Walmart and Domino's and those type of places see the value of drone delivery, I just think you're going to start seeing it appear everywhere.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I started seeing last fall, the Meta headsets, not so much the VR headsets, but they're Meta Facebook is bringing back Google Glass somehow. And it's the glasses with cameras in them.
Yeah.
And I laugh when I see these commercials, and it's like, oh, help me line up this shot or take a video. And it's like, you realize that you're just now uploading everything to Mark Zuckerberg, right? And I think it'd be interesting to see how that progresses.
Sure.
Because when the Google Glass first came out, everyone was up in arms. Oh, privacy, privacy, privacy. These things are invasive. And because they were like those Geordie LaForge type glasses.
Yeah.
And, but these are actual specs with a camera built in.
And you can get on prescription and the whole bit.
Yeah.
I was just thinking on a drone delivery, Daddy, I want a kitty. You can't have a kitty. And the next thing you see is a Petco drone coming over above because your 6-year-old ordered a kitty and it's being drone delivered.
Yeah. The old movie is The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Yes.
Came up with a modern series about it. And there's a great drone story involved in that.
That would be great to hear, actually. Maybe at the next segment.
Yeah.
Supertalk 1270.
Welcome to January 4th on the National Day calendar. Today, we're twirling our forks in celebration and delving into the fascinating world of the mind.
Do you love to start the day with a smile? Join the Celebration Nation by picking up your very own National Day calendar. Visit our website, nationaldaycalendar.com, for our full-color printed guide to all the fun and unusual ways to celebrate every day.
Spaghetti, a staple of Italian cuisine, has become a beloved dish around the world. On National Spaghetti Day, we celebrate this versatile pasta that pairs beautifully with a variety of sauces, from classic marinara to creamy Alfredo. Whether you're dining at a favorite Italian restaurant or cooking at home, Let today be a tribute to the comforting and delicious experience that a plate of spaghetti brings.
Many of you, I'm sure, will have seen pictures of the vast spaghetti plantations in the Po Valley. For the Swiss, however, it tends to be more of a family affair.
So do you actually twirl the spaghetti on your fork?
No. I've kind of learned to eat it the way you eat it.
Oh, cutting it up?
Cut it with my fork.
It actually works pretty good that way.
It does, because that way it doesn't dribble down my chin.
Well, the thing with the swirling, too, is that it never ends.
Right?
It's like you swirl, and is it going to stop? But no. Meanwhile, World Hypnotism Day invites us to explore the power of the mind. Hypnotism, often misunderstood, is a therapeutic tool that has been used for centuries to help people overcome fears, reduce stress, and improve overall well-being. Today, take a moment to learn about the benefits of hypnosis and how it can be a valuable resource for personal growth and healing.
Don't take much to memorize your life. I feel like I've been hypnotized.
I've never been hypnotized.
Really? Here we go.
Okay.
Look deeply into my eyes.
Ooh.
As I snap my fingers, you will provide me with all the money you have in your pockets.
I didn't have 2 cents. Sorry.
You're broke? I never win at this.
Can't help you out there. I'm Alice Anderson.
I'm Marlo Anderson.
Thank you for joining us on our journey to celebrate every day.
Listen deeply to my voice. 3. Oh, that's right. Until next time, keep celebrating.
Welcome to the School for Startups Minute with Jim Beach.
I saw a statistic this week that really shocked me. It said that 76% of Americans secretly wish that they were an entrepreneur. Wow, that's a big number, especially considering that only 10 or 11% of Americans are entrepreneurs. It's a huge gap. This week, I want to talk about getting ready to start a business, the things you need to do before you even have your idea, things you need to do to prepare so that you will be successful and to decrease your chances of failure. I'll have tip number 1 right after this.
Did you know that there's a new law called the Corporate Transparency Act? It requires every LLC, corporation, and partnership to report information to the federal government. And if you don't, you can face significant penalties that include $10,000 fines and 2 years in jail. This may sound overwhelming. Fortunately, Corporate Direct is here to help you with these reports. Please visit corporatedirect.com to schedule a free 15-minute consultation. That's corporatedirect.com.
To be ready to start your dream business, first thing you need to do is clean up your credit history and make sure that you have a good, strong credit score. After that, you need $5,000 in business savings, not personal savings, $5,000 set aside to start your business.
Supertalk 1270. KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck, a town square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union Studio.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Hillary Clinton, Bono, Jane Goodall, Magic Johnson, Lionel Messi, Denzel Washington, and Anna Wintour. Those are just some of the figures that President Biden honored today with the Medal of Freedom. More from ABC's Mary Alice Parks.
Interesting to look at the range of public figures that are receiving this award. The White House, of course, noting that this is the highest civilian honor that an American can receive.
Ceremonies today celebrating and honoring the late President Jimmy Carter, including a departure ceremony at Phoebe Sumter Medical Center in Americus, Georgia, and a brief pause at Carter's boyhood home. He's set to lie in repose at the Carter Presidential Center before ceremonies in Washington, D.C. next week. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner has identified a body found overnight as that of filmmaker Jeff Baena. He was the husband of actress Aubrey Plaza. The Medical Examiner reports the 47-year-old was found in his home. Sources telling us appears he has died of suicide. This is ABC News. In the effort to free the Menendez brothers, more than 20 of their relatives meeting with LA's new district attorney as they push for the brothers' release. ABC's Zareen Shaw is in Los Angeles.
The family of Eric and Lyle Menendez meeting behind closed doors with LA's new district attorney, Nathan Hochman, and calling for their release.
I want to reiterate our position as a family and as the victims' families that this 35-year process has been incredibly traumatizing.
On Friday, over 20 members of Jose and Kitty Menendez's family showing their support for resentencing Lyle and Eric for the 1989 murder of their parents.
A judge rejected New Jersey's request to stop New York City's congestion pricing toll from taking effect. So starting tomorrow morning, New York will charge drivers a $9 fee to enter Manhattan's congested business district during certain hours. Dave Packer, ABC News.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to NewNordicUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New year, new you, New Nordic.
Supertalk 1270, Bismarck area weather.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Bormans. Mostly cloudy and cold today with highs near 3 above. Wind chill values as cold as 20 below. Mostly cloudy tonight with lows near -8. On Sunday, mostly cloudy, not quite as cold, but still pretty chilly, a high of only 6 above. Looking for a great place to live, stay, shop, and play? It's easy to get to Worthington, Minnesota. It's worth a look. Right now, 0 degrees.
From ABC Sports, I'm Joey Waller. College hoops today. Number 10, Kentucky escapes 6th-ranked Florida. The Gators' first loss.
Out to Garrison. Fakes, moves in, back to Brea. Fakes, puts it behind his back, slides right, now slides left. Good. Oh, man.
Colby Brea, 23 points off the bench, 7 of 9 from 3. Cats Radio during their 106-100 win. Walter Clayton Jr. scores 33 in the loss. Right now, starting the second, top-ranked Tennessee with a 42-27 bulge against Arkansas. Also earlier, Ole Miss, a 63-51 win over Georgia. Bahamas Bowl, fourth quarter, Buffalo a 26-7 lead on Liberty. The father of Georgia football coach Kirby Smart, Sonny Smart, died today after complications from hip surgery following his fall in New Orleans before the Sugar Bowl. Sonny Smart was 76. The Heat suspend disgruntled star Jimmy Butler 7 games for conduct detrimental to the team. In a statement, the team says they'll try granting Butler's trade request. ESPN's Shams Charania reports.
More than anything, this was an avenue for the Heat to keep Jimmy Butler away from the team over these next couple of weeks. The situation around the Heat with Jimmy Butler there had become unmanageable. They play Saturday at home, then they go on a 6-game road trip. And from my understanding, the goal right now is to move Butler as soon as possible.
Thunder extend their club record victory streak to 14 last night, ending the Knicks' 9-game win string. Aaron Wiggins, 19 off the bench.
Competitive group, obviously. Guys who understand that 45-minute game, and guys just play hard. So, just try to stay the course, play the full 48-minute game, and we came out with a win.
And the Cavaliers victorious last night at Dallas, their 9th straight win. NHL matinee as we speak. They're in the second. Capitals enjoying a 4-2 lead over the Rangers. Joey Waller, ABC Sports.
Struggling with back taxes or unfiled returns? Owe the IRS $10,000 or more? With the IRS ramping up enforcement, taxpayers across the country are turning to tax relief helpers. Call 800-885-0622 now. End IRS stress today. Stop collection efforts, wage garnishments, and sleepless nights. Tax relief helpers can help you or your business settle your tax debt quickly and affordably. Call the Tax Relief Helpers hotline at 800-885-0622. That's 800-885-0622. Start your
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Bills piling up? Rent due? Just need some extra cash to get by? Then you need to go to GetCash.com, where you can get approved for a loan of up to $10,000 in minutes. No need to search through endless loan sites. GetCash.com is one of the largest lender networks. They can help anyone get up to $10,000 regardless of their credit score. Best part? The money can be in your bank account as soon as the next day. When you need fast cash help, go to GetCash.com. That's GetCash.com.
Conservative talk without apology. The Regular Joe Show with Joe Gigante. Weekday evenings at 9 on Supertalk 1270 and the free Supertalk 1270 mobile app.
Portions of the following program are pre-recorded.
Welcome to the Tech Ranch, where we explore the world of living with technology. Get ready to take a deep dive into the latest gadgets, apps, and innovations with your hosts, the Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson, and his trusty co-host, Steve Bakken. Join us on this exciting journey, and don't forget to visit thetechranch.com for even more exclusive content. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Marlo and Steve to the Tech Ranch.
Welcome back, everybody. Alice Anderson's in studio talking about how to save money. We've gone through a lot of different things already, everything from how to coupon in today's world, basically using loyalty programs and things like the Ibotta app to buy in discounted gift cards and all that good stuff. And then we got into saving money with apps like Acorns. So if you're just joining us, that's what we've been talking about. Now we're getting into artificial intelligence and how AI can help you. And I just pulled up ChatGPT just on the show here and asked it, how can I use ChatGPT to save money? And it came back with a list of things. And the very first thing on the list is budgeting and financial planning. So it says, create a budget, share your income and expenses, and ChatGPT will help create a personalized budget. And then track expenses. Get tips on categorizing and analyzing your spending to find areas where you can cut back. I think so too. And I think, I know I would be stunned at how much money I spend on coffee.
Yes.
And I probably just ignore it because that's one of my vices. I don't really drink. I don't smoke. I don't do any of those things. So coffee is my vice. Well, and I used to drink a lot of Diet Coke, and I don't drink that anymore.
Drink a lot less of that.
Yes. Yeah, and I got friends there.
That's right.
So I've made some friends. But the thing with, this is what I would do with ChatGPT or Gemini or any of the others, but those two are probably, or Siri now. Siri has also, if you have an Apple device and you have 18.2 on your phone, that's the operating system, 8.2, then you have Siri combined with ChatGPT. So you should be able to do these things on there too, but you could ask it, you can just talk to it. And I don't have my phone in here today. Usually I do, because we usually ask it questions, but you can tell it that you want to set up a budget, and I will, and then when it creates a window for that, and then every time you spend something, you can just tap on the screen in the ChatGPT app and just say, hey, I just spent $4.32 on coffee at Caribou Coffee, right? Okay. And it'll record that. And then I spent, $48.12 at Family Fare for groceries or wherever you do your grocery shopping, right? And you can, and every time you pay a bill or buy something, you put it in there. And ChatGPT will actually then take and categorize those things for you because it knows that you're spending this on groceries. And you could even go so far as to put in there that you spent this much on orange juice and blah, 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 if you really want to get into it. And it will create a very detailed summary of what you're spending and probably give you suggestions on saying, hey, if you spent, instead of 2 days or 2 times a day to the coffee shop, get a Keurig. I mean, and this is the thing that'll do. You can actually look at that. And if you don't have a Keurig in your house, for example, you could justify buying the Keurig and the pods that cost what, $1 a piece or something?
No, they're nutty.
Okay. And probably get pretty good coffee that way too, and save yourself $3 or $4 a day. And then $3 a day times 365 days, that's $1,000 a year you've saved on that. So
yes.
and right now, I'm telling you right now, please go out and drink coffee at all the coffee shops in our area, because I like that they're around.
Yeah,
and
we don't want them to go.
We want them to stay around.
Yes.
So, but if you need to save some money, this might be a way to do that. So ChatGPT would help you with that. Did you have questions?
No, but
Okay.
when you talked about the price of the little coffee pods,
Yeah.
there's another way to save money even there.
Okay.
And that's by the refillable pod. And you can put any kind of ground coffee into it. And then after you make your coffee, you dump it out, you clean out the pot, grounds, and refill for the next one.
So I could buy Folgers and drop it in?
Absolutely. You can put any kind of ground coffee in.
I need to try that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Shopping and deals. So price comparison. Ask for strategies or tools to compare prices before making a purchase. And then also, this is ChatGPT telling me this, coupon hunting. Get advice on finding discounts, promo codes, or cashback offers. So ChatGPT, as it's matured, has this ability to actually start helping to search the web as well.
That's awesome.
And you could probably say, hey, I'm thinking about buying a particular type of computer. You know, you have your eye, or a car or whatever, right? You could put the model in there, what you're going to get, and it will go out and find price comparisons for you. Yeah. Wow.
Yes,
Sorry I brought that up.
Could do it.
No. Well, you already have a fleet. Well, one worker, I wouldn't even notice it. You just hide them anyway.
What's one more?
Meal planning, budget-friendly recipes. Request meal ideas that use inexpensive ingredients.
Yes.
So that's interesting, right?
And there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of recipes on. They're everywhere.
They are. And again, ChatGPT can help you with this. This one I really love. Reduce food waste. Share what's in your fridge, and ChatGPT can suggest recipes to use up those items.
Oh.
So it's gotten so good that you can open up ChatGPT, take a picture of what's in your fridge, and then ask it to give you some meal suggestions for dinner, and it will do that for you.
Pretty cool.
Now, what did we do over New Year's Day with ChatGPT?
Yesterday?
On New Year's Day.
New Year's Day?
Yeah. On New Year's Day a few days ago. You don't remember?
I'm sorry.
What kind of things were we making with the blender?
Oh, yes. Okay. We made coconut milk and we made almond milk.
And where did the recipes come from? That's correct.
Although I hadn't asked.
Oh, yeah. That's where I got the advice from on how to do those, because I've always been curious about how to make almond milk and coconut milk. I thought the process was way more difficult. Yeah, a lot of work. Yeah. But anyway, we did figure it out, and it actually turned out really good. I was surprised at how easy it was. It was a little. We didn't have all the proper tools that we needed to make the milk. I should have probably had
I should have bought these cloths.
Yes.
But I didn't know we were going to do it right now. I was.
We had a little strainer or whatever, but it still worked.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the milk is delicious.
Yes, it is.
And the only downside to it is you got to use it in 3 to 4 days because it spoils like regular milk.
Yes.
Unlike the preservative stuff that lasts for 2 months.
Well, that's okay. We've got enough left that when we're done here, we're
okay. Perfect.
Leave it there. No.
Perfect. I love that. So
absolutely,
it was a little fun, and I think on the almond milk side, I haven't done the math yet, but I'm going to guess we could save money making our own at home. Coconut milk, I'm not really sure. We'd have to buy that in bulk.
Yes.
The coconut to get a deal on that. But there you go. We experimented a little bit and found out how easy it was. And now I think we'll be making more almond milk at home.
And it was fun.
It was fun.
Thanks for staying with us on the Tech Ranch. Let's rejoin Marlo and Steve as they guide us through the fascinating world of technology.
Hey, and we're talking about how you can save money using technology. Alice Anderson's in studio, and we were just, if you didn't catch the early part of the show and you want to hear all of this, it will be as a podcast in a day or two. So just check out thetechranch.com or on your local station, and they'll have it up there as well. So, Alice has given us a lot of great ways that you can save money. And then I just pulled up ChatGPT in the last segment and started going through. I just asked ChatGPT how I can use ChatGPT to save money. And it gave me a list of 10 things just with that really easy prompt. The first one was budgeting and financial planning. Second one was shopping at deals. And then we just got into meal planning, which is the third one. And there's a lot of ways here with meal planning that I'm guessing we could save money.
I'm too, because no matter how careful you are, there's always that thing that gets to the back of the fridge and turns into a science experiment.
Right.
And
this way you can use it up a little quicker or whatever.
Use ChatGPT.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea actually to just, and maybe we'll just try it and see what it comes up with for us. We can say, hey, we got this hot dish in there. What can we do with this hot dish that we had 2 days ago to make it like it's new again?
Or it could be to make it a hot dish or a soup or whatever.
And my guess is that exactly how it'll be.
I do a lot of that anyway.
Right.
But it can how to use up those last scraps of peppers and celery and things that sometimes, like I said, turn into a science experiment.
Right. So the other thing too, we'll go to number 4 here now. So subscriptions and bills. I guess there's a list of 10. So number 4 on the list is subscriptions and bills. Audit subscriptions. Use ChatGPT to help you list and evaluate your subscriptions to decide which ones to cancel. Now, Alice and I actually do this on an annual basis. We should probably do it like every 3 months because when I say we're, I mean me. It's extremely bad at seeing something and like, oh, it's only $8 a month? Absolutely. And then I never use it again.
Right.
I use it the one time and then I forget about it. And then it takes to the end of the year, which is when I usually do this, to kind of audit the subscriptions that we have. You can use ChatGPT to list all of your subscriptions and help you decide which ones you should keep and which ones you should cancel.
That is fabulous.
Yeah.
Because, I can't imagine how many things people are paying for if they realize it.
Well, you think about this, right? And I'm just going to throw this out. $8.99 a month sounds like nothing.
Right.
But that's $100 a year.
Yeah.
And if you have 4 or 5 of those or 10, or you have one that's $39.99 a month and whatever, 40 times 12 is $500 a year. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I would give up in a subscription so I could travel one more time a year, for example.
Me too.
So that's kind of my motivation to this. For others, it might be, Alice and I are in the agreement that when we die, if there's $1 left in the bank, we win.
Yes, absolutely.
So
because our kids absolutely
they can figure it. That's right.
Their own money.
That's right. They can figure it out.
When pregnant. Our kids to us.
That's right. So, and life is for a living, right? So you should, at least that's our attitude with it. So, so if you can figure out ways to save money and other things to afford you other things to do, and, maybe saving a few dollars is the other thing. Just put it in the bank.
Well,
so you can go do these things later.
And it's about the experiences.
Yep.
It's way more about the experiences. And if we're saving money here, we can go do those.
So we'll get to that. In fact, number 5 is travel savings, by the way. Okay. So have ChatGPT or Gemini or whoever you're using for AI. And by the way, all these AIs are available on your phone. If you have a Google account, many people have a Yahoo or a Gmail account, right? I don't know why I said Yahoo there for a second. Yes. But a lot of people still have Yahoo accounts too. But Gmail is by far the most popular. If you have a Gmail account, you can get a Gemini account. It's just part of your thing. Right. By the way, just go to Gemini or get the app put on your phone. If you have an Apple device, you now have Siri with ChatGPT if you have the latest version of their operating system on your phone or device.
And Apple automatically upgrades your operating system when the
Right.
You know,
And
if you plug your phone in at 9, get upgrades.
if your phone is capable of handling the newest upgrade, right?
Yes.
And then, of course, you can just add the ChatGPT app to your phone as well. And there's a free version, and the free version will do everything we're just talking about, so you don't have to pay money for this. I do have a subscription. Of course I do, for it, but I would never give that up. That's one of the things I never give up because I save so much time, which of course is money to me as well.
Absolutely.
So I create all kinds of stuff because I have artificial intelligence helping me. So including what we're talking about right now. I mean, AI put this list together for us, so which is kind of cool. All right. So other thing on subscriptions and bills, so audit your subscriptions. Go through all those $8.99, $39.99. I mean, are you still paying for cable? And have you switched over to, cutting the cord and you could audit that, have it audited for you and say, hey, this is the best way for you to go is streaming straight up or whatever, right? Travel state, or the other one on here is lower your bills. This is interesting to me. ChatGPT will give you tips on negotiating with service providers for lower rates.
I like that already.
So if you are a subscriber to a cable network, maybe like Sirius XM, any of these things, you can put in there what you're paying and it will help you negotiate with the provider. And there's actually an app out there. I wish I could remember the name of this app now that will help you with that. It'll help you negotiate lower rates as well. So there's a couple of ways that you can do this to potentially get those costs down a little bit for these things that you have already. Yeah, well, maybe not necessarily have to pay for, but most people would not be without cable or streaming services now for television, for example. So you might be able to figure out a way to get better deals on there, or it'll compare. Like if you're paying so much over here, for example, we use AT&T for our cell phones. I know that with our package, we probably have a couple of channels like a Showtime or whatever, HBO, whatever it would be, that we get with that. I have never checked into that, but we pay for it.
Yeah.
On the other side, we pay for HBO.
Right.
So what are we doing? We need to be taking advantage of these things ourselves, and these are great ways to save some money.
You're listening to The Tech Ranch, where technology comes alive. Let's dive back into the conversation with Marlo and Steve. And don't forget to check out thetechranch.com for more.
And in studio, Alice Anderson. We're talking about how to save money using technology. We've gone through a lot of stuff. We won't review it all because you can go back and listen online if you like. Right now, we are talking about using artificial intelligence like ChatGPT to give you tips on saving money. And I just asked ChatGPT straight up, how can I use ChatGPT to save money? That's the question I asked it. And it came up with 10 ways that I could use ChatGPT to do that. And of course, you can do that with Gemini or any of the other artificial intelligences. And you can even prompt it with a better question if you like. But first 4, budgeting and financial planning, shopping and deals, meal planning, subscriptions and bills. Alice and I have gone through. What do you think's 5th on the list, Alice?
Wow.
Okay. I just want to.
I'm just not as smart as ChatGPT.
It's travel savings. All right. So ChatGPT can help you with cheap flights and accommodations. It can learn strategies for finding the best travel deals. So there's a couple of things that are out there. The one service that I go to is actually called Going, Going. And I know we were just looking at, Alice and I had the opportunity to go to London and Paris a couple months ago, which, by the way, we paid for with our points that we, credit card points, which was kind of nice. It was a great trip and we didn't pay a lot of money to fly over, which gave us more money to spend while we were there. But actually, we were kind of frugal on this trip.
Didn't spend.
No. Yeah, we had a great time. It was good. So you can use ChatGPT to help you do that, or you can use apps like Going, and I would highly recommend that, by the way. They have a free version and they have a pay for version. The pay for version actually gives you some really good deals. And we were just comparing because I got a pop-up because I've been wanting to go to Ireland for a while. And the pop-up showed that there were flights for like $650 round trip to Dublin, right? And I came because of going normally a couple $1,000.
I don't understand why.
Well, we got other things to do, like go to CES here.
That's right.
We're off to CES here shortly. So you got that. And then also under the travel savings, DIY travel itineraries. Save on tour packages by planning your trips with ChatGPT. And what I would do there is I would just say, hey, if you're going to England or you're going to London, for example, you would just tell ChatGPT, what are the things you want to do? Do you want to go to the London Zoo? Do you want to go on a bus tour? What are the things you want to do? And it will help guide you and maybe even make recommendations. Hey, if you're going to the London Zoo, did you know that blah, blah, blah is right next door? Type of thing. So when you can combine stuff together so you don't have to hop on a train or take a taxi or an Uber or whatever to get around town, then realize later on that, you're going to be back by the zoo again. Those type of things can help save you money. So I would highly recommend using artificial intelligence for that. This is a good one. I love the number 6, DIY and repairs. So there's all kinds of things here. Do-it-yourself tips. Ask for guidance on simple home repairs or projects instead of hiring professionals.
Definitely. Great way to.
Yep. And so Gemini, so that's Google's platform. This is insane. And we're not going to talk about it this week, but in a week or two, we'll get to this. Gemini has just released the ability to have video on as you talk to it. And it recognizes things, right? So you can put, and this is very basic, but if you could say, hey, Gemini, how many fingers am I holding up? And it'll say, well, you are holding up 2 fingers. Well, what am I holding up now? Well, that's a can of Diet Coke. It has 0 calories and blah, blah, blah. Well, imagine, and I'm just giving you the basic stuff, but imagine now that you can have the video on and you have this person, let's say you're fixing your washer.
Okay.
It's 2:00 in the morning. The washer breaks down because you need clothes tomorrow. And you're like, oh my goodness, so you pull Gemini out, you turn the video on, the feature on, and it will guide you. It'll just say, take this screw off, take this part off. Now replace this with this, and it'll help you with that. This is what this is about. You need to paint something. You had a door, that got caught in the wind when somebody's opening it. It broke a little spot in your sheetrock. We've had this happen a few times in our main door downstairs. And instead of having a professional coming over and probably costing $300 or $400 or $500, I'm guessing that it's probably pretty easy to go get a little kit.
It is.
And fix it. And if you don't know how to do that, ChatGPT will talk you through it, or Gemini will talk you through it, right? So those are some cool ways that you can save a lot of money on that. So
anytime you have to call the professional, especially at 2:00 in the morning, the price goes way up.
And I know earlier we talked about, recipes, right? Yes. Using up the stuff that's in the fridge, or you and I a few days ago made coconut milk and almond milk. And again, I think the jury's out on if we save money or not with the coconut one. But on the almond one, I think we do. Okay.
Because I don't remember.
Right.
Had them in the freezers.
But it was fun to do and a little to experiment with, so you can do those things.
It tastes good.
It does taste great. DIY and repairs, also the other tip in there is upcycling ideas. Get creative ways to reuse items instead of buying new ones. So you might have a lot of stuff laying around the house. How do I make that painting, which I guess you and I have talked about a little bit too. There's a painting on our wall that we've had there for a few years. And I know you're kind of tired of this painting.
Tired of it as it has faded.
Okay.
And I just am not happy with the way it looks anymore.
So that's interesting. So, my guess would be that we could turn on Gemini, have it look at it, and explain to it that it has faded over the years. Is there something we can do to restore this painting back to its original state? And it'll probably give us some ideas on how we can do that. So,
yeah.
I'm just using that as examples, everybody. So instead of going out and spending another $500 or $1,000 or whatever on a nice piece to put on the wall, or $5,000 or whatever it is that you are wanting, or whatever it cost to do that before, you might be able to fix it for $8.
Wow.
So
Incredible.
these are the things that you can do with artificial intelligence that I think you have to be thinking about, and you have these tools in your phone or on your computer right now for free. So you should be utilizing these things.
Yeah.
Especially, and this is the way I always look at this, by the way. You know, if you and I pay a couple $100 a month for our phones. We probably could save some money there too. And we're looking at doing that, by the way. But you have to think about the money that those phones save you.
Right.
And so it's not so much, sometimes if it costs you $200, but it saves you $600 or $700 or $800 a month because you have them, it's a pretty good investment.
Yes,
you know, the amount of gas that I don't burn because I'm looking for an address, for example.
For sure, because you use that
all the time
with your phone.
All the time.
Anytime we're going somewhere.
Yep. Number 7 on the list is energy savings. And
Welcome back to the Tech Ranch. We're thrilled to have you with us as we continue exploring living with technology alongside Marlo and Steve.
And Alice Anderson in studio. We're talking about how you can save money. And I asked ChatGPT how we can save money, and it came up with this list of 10. We are on number 7 right now. And we're just going to get into it because I know if we don't, if we keep reviewing what we've done in the past, we're going to run out of time today on this. Number 7 is energy savings. And yeah. So one of the things it talks about, reduce utility bills, learn energy efficient practices to lower electricity and water usage. And probably, you know, in our neck of the woods, heating is a thing as well. You know, what can you do in your house? And my guess is that if you, again, I know we were just talking about Gemini, and if you're just joining us, everybody, so Gemini, which is an artificial intelligence by Google, has just released this most incredible thing. And, you know, we've been talking, maybe you haven't done this yet, but if you haven't done this, I would highly recommend it. You can talk to artificial intelligence now. And I do it all the time when I'm cruising down the road, especially on road trips. If I'm by myself, I talk to ChatGPT all the time, and we brainstorm and think about things. And the cool thing is that it's recorded all in text later on, so I can review it. And I just love that feature. So Gemini now has released a video version of that. So it truly is. So it turns your camera on your phone or on your desktop, and it actually recognizes what's in front of the camera. You can tell it it's you, and from that point forward, it knows that it's, you know, Marlo Anderson or Alice Anderson or whoever you are. And then you put up like a Diet Coke, and it recognizes the Diet Coke. Now we'll get into all this stuff, but imagine taking that tool and then saying, hey, Gemini, I want to save some money on energy. So let's take a tour of our house, and then just walk through the house, show Gemini, the artificial intelligence, what your house looks like. And then it'll probably ask you some questions like, do you use this room very often? Well, no, I only use it when I have guests because it's a guest room. Maybe you should turn the heat off and close the door. You know, I'm just using that. I don't know if that's true. And then maybe you can make the argument, well, that's not a good idea because my water pipes would freeze over here or whatever. But it would probably help you with that. And of course, the other thing is, if you don't have a new thermostat that has AI built into it, you should go spend the $200
and get one.
Get one, because
that does make a huge difference in your heating.
I've heard that it depends on the weather, of course, but anywhere from 3 months to a year to get your money back. Huh? So $200 for the new thermostat, because it learns about you.
Yes.
So what happens is it knows then, like if you leave the house to go to work at 7:45, it senses that all the lights are turned off in the house, whatever. And or you can just talk to it and say, hey, I leave at 7:45, or tell it to turn the heat down to, 62 during the day or whatever. And it'll make these adjustments for you. So that's where it can really save you some money. Let's see. 7 seasonal tips. Get advice on staying cool in summer or warm in winter without high energy costs. So it can help you with that. One of the things, like, in the winter. I was going to bring this up to you today, as a matter of fact, about, turning the lights on and off, for example. We have a couple of areas in our building that are tough to keep warm. And it really, I don't know if it matters a whole lot if you turn the lights off in those areas in the wintertime, because lights create heat. And it might actually help keep that part of the building warm by a degree or two by just having the lights on. I don't think we'd notice any big difference, but it'll be something to investigate. And artificial intelligence could help us with that. This is the cost per kilowatt hour that we're spending. This is a cost that we spend on propane or on natural gas. Thank you. To heat our place, and it could tell you, hey, just leave the lights on. You'll probably get a couple more degrees out of that and not run your furnace so much, type of thing.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
We need to check that out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Well, no.
Well, it's just habit, right? We grew up that way.
My dad taught me that money doesn't grow.
Right.
So it's all grow.
Right. Exactly. 8, investment and savings advice. If you have a savings goal, you can set and track saving goals with ChatGPT. You can say, hey, I want to save $5,000 this year, and it'll look at your budget and go, okay, this is what you do with the money you have. If you want to save $5,000 more this year, maybe not drink 2 cups of coffee a day, type of thing. It'll help you with that. Also basic investment tips. Learn about low cost investment options like index funds. It'll help you. It'll teach you, or at least give you advice on how those things work. And this is the other thing, and this isn't even on the list, but one of the things that I do all the time, as I know I'm talking too much in the segment now.
That's okay.
But I run all of our agreements through ChatGPT now.
Yes.
I tell it, you're our attorney.
Yes.
And it comes back and it'll say, well, I'm not an attorney, but I can review whatever you want and give you advice, or give you advice that's not legal advice, but I can give you advice on the contract. And I say, well, you're our attorney. You're representing us on when we're buying this car. And I will put the documents in ChatGPT, and it'll come back and say, well, I wouldn't do this if I were, type of thing. And you're like, oh my goodness, I would have never caught that, right?
Exactly.
Because who wants to read 28 pages of documents?
And who understands?
Right.
20
exactly.
pages of documents. If you're not an attorney, don't understand.
Yes. So that, one of the best things I could give you for advice is that you have in your pocket, in your purse, this advisor with you at any given time now. You have this artificial intelligence, whether you're using Gemini, ChatGPT, and it can help you with these decisions. If you're buying a home or renting a place, just take a snapshot of the agreement and have it review it for you real quick. It's almost like, you can take a snapshot, and while you're there with the person that you're talking to that you're going to sign with, you can have a discussion instead of saying, hey, I need to run this to my attorney first or whatever. If there's nothing to worry about in the document, ChatGPT will probably tell you that. It's truly incredible. 8 on the, I guess we've gone through savings and basic investment tips. 9 is learning and skill development. So there are free resources. Discover free or low-cost learning platforms to gain skills instead of paying for courses. ChatGPT and Gemini, they're all the same way. They speak many, many languages. And ChatGPT, for example, I could prompt it to say, hey, I want to learn French. I want to learn 5 new words a day in French. And it would actually design a course and work with me to do that. I wouldn't have to pay for that course anymore, which is incredible as well.
Yes, it is.
So that is true, right? Exactly.
If you have any questions or want to suggest topics for future shows, visit thetechranch.com and send us your thoughts. You can also listen to past episodes and watch exclusive interviews not featured on the radio show. Be sure to follow Marlo and Steve on social media by clicking the links at thetechranch.com. Until next time, keep exploring the world of living with technology. The Tech Ranch.
Supertalk 1270.
This is Outdoor Issues with Neil Roberts and North Dakota Game and Fish Outreach Biologist Greg Gullickson. As ice thickens on area lakes, we're seeing more activity for ice anglers. Greg, I know your department is encouraging people to take someone new out this year, right?
Yeah, that's right. And, it's a program that we ran for the last couple summers, but we're also encouraging people to get greater participation in ice fishing. We're again running the Take Someone New Ice Fishing Challenge, and that runs from December 16th all the way through March 31st. Invite someone new along who has never been ice fishing and log your story on the Game and Fish Department website for a chance to win a fish house donated by Runnings. One random winner will be chosen. All other winter fishing regulations apply. And again, for more information, check out the North Dakota Game and Fish Department website, gf.nd.gov.
All right, good stuff, Greg. Hey, more on ice fishing when we come back.
Hey, dads-to-be, searching for the perfect holiday gift? Give her something unforgettable, a chance to bond with your baby before they arrive. Show her how much you care with a New Beginnings Imaging Ultrasound gift certificate. With this holiday special, you save $5 for every $100 spent. This offer will be valid through December 31st, 2024. Visit newbeginningsimaging.com and use the contact page or text or call 701-581-3554 to purchase directly. That's New Beginnings Imaging. Hey poker players, get ready for a big payout tournament. It's the North Dakota Texas Hold'em Championship, an estimated $20,000 first prize. It all takes place at the Sleep Inn and Suites in Minot, starting December 26th with a free roll. Sponsored by X Golf and the Blue Rider. Qualifying rounds are on December 27th and 28th, with the championship on December 29th. A $100 registration gets you a 20,000 chip starting stack. It's the North Dakota Texas Hold'em Championship at the Sleep Inn and Suites in Minot. Don't miss it. Gaming sponsored by the Aggie Foundation.
Talking ice fishing today on Outdoor Issues. And Greg, boy, lots of houses are going out. And I know you have some regulation reminders today on that.
Yeah, that's right. A fish house, an ice shanty, some sort of shelter is always a nice way to stay warm on the ice. And a lot of these houses have the amenities of home, basically. Couch, a microwave, satellite TV. So for those of us that do use the ice houses, fish houses, if they're left unoccupied on North Dakota waters, they must be made of materials that allow them to float. Fish houses do not require license. If it's an occupied structure, you don't need to have the ID on it. However, if you do happen to leave that fish house, you need to have either an equipment registration number issued on the Game and Fish Department website or the owner's name and either address or telephone number. So encourage my fellow winter anglers to get out and enjoy what North Dakota has to offer.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Greg. And hey, that brings this report to a close. Until next time, I'm Neil Roberts.
You've been listening to Outdoor Issues, brought to you in part by the North Dakota State Texas Hold'em Championship, by New Beginnings Ultrasound, and by Minot's best new burger, Rocky's Burgers, Franks, and Fries.
This is the Pet Minute. I'm Steve Dale. A dramatic reading. Next. Beringer Ingelheim Animal Health wants you to know that your dog can be at risk of heart disease. By screening for a heart murmur, abnormal heart rhythm, or heart enlargement, your veterinarian will be able to diagnose and possibly treat these signs earlier. There are medications that can help delay the onset of congestive heart failure or manage the symptoms of heart failure once diagnosed. Talk with your veterinarian to see if your dog is at risk and schedule that ever-important annual exam. Early detection is best. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, especially the mouse, 'cause the mouse knows who's in the house. Oh, there's Fido, there's Fluffy, there's Duchess and King, on Rover, on Scruffy with that squeaky thing. Oh, his eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. When Rover licked his nose, it tasted like sherry. Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good night. For the Pet Minute, I'm Steve Dale.
Chris Vandeventer in the house, and we are swapping drone stories right now. So you had...
this new Disney Plus show last year, or the year before, with Tim Allen. It was a sort of a TV series based on the Santa Claus movies. And he was going to retire, and they were looking for somebody to take over as Santa Claus. And the subplot was this venture capitalist kind of guy, really into instant delivery. And he's pitching his technology to this boardroom. And he says, "Oh, are you feeling all right?" Then the CEO's like, "Yeah, I got a headache." And all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. And outside the window is a drone carrying the aspirin. But then the drone is trying to deliver it. And so it just kind of breaks through the glass, attacking everybody. And then he decides to use Santa technology to deliver things to you before you even order them.
So do you feel, how would you feel about getting a drone delivery?
I wouldn't mind it. I think it's be more direct. Something got delivered at my house the other night and it was freezing, and they didn't just put it outside my door; they put it way down on the other side.
Oh, wow!
Now I gotta go outside instead of just open my door and grab it.
Do you think that people will have to have some type of determined place at their house, like a helicopter pad type of scenario, where
lining up on the roof,
and
the bushes, or
I think it's interesting. I know I was kidding about the kitty scenario a little bit ago. That's cats, by the way, not kiddos being delivered. Although I could potentially see something like that happening, I suppose. Probably more supplies. I see some places are starting to deliver pets or vet supplies to like ranchers, right? You have a ranch that's 15 miles out, and they've been kind of experimenting with this now, where they can send a drone out with somebody, that can just administer a shot to a cow or something, as opposed to driving out there and
having to drive all the way out there.
Yeah, and of course there's big expense to that. So I think there's all kinds of scenarios here where being able to fly, and of course just the imprint on planet Earth. The difference between having a drone deliver a pizza or a car delivering a pizza is significant.
Right. They have in some areas they have those pizza delivery robots.
Yes.
That are self-driving.
Yes.
The biggest obstacle, I think, to a lot of that is the warehousing aspect of it. It really works in larger urban centers where there's stuff staged already.
Right.
I mean, same day pickup at Walmart, even in Bismarck and Mandan, works okay as long as they have something in stock.
That's exactly right. Yes.
But if you're going to start ordering stuff left and right, fresh produce and everything like that, my mother-in-law was living in Seattle, and they could get Amazon food delivery, but you can't get that here.
Right. It all depends on urban density and all that good stuff to make some of these things work. But there are some scenarios that maybe it works better here than it does in Seattle, for example, because we're more rural.
Yeah. And my thing too is, delivery is very convenient, but there are certain things that I still don't want delivered. Even though I can order groceries and have those delivered to my house, I'm relying on somebody else to pick what I want.
So you're not a fan of somebody else picking the head of lettuce, for example,
right,
or the 5 apples you want.
If I say, I know I want this brand of Triscuits, and say, well, we don't have those, so we got you these instead.
I see.
And
you wouldn't have bought them otherwise if they didn't have them.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they swap it out, and it's like.
Does that happen a lot when you order right now?
A lot of times I'll be getting texts while they're shopping for me and say, do you want this instead? Do you want this instead? And I'll have to say yes or no, yes or no. But then that, I've already paid for much of this stuff.
Right.
And it's like.
So then you have to fight with getting the credit back on it and all that stuff, right? So is there an upcharge to have it delivered that way? Or if you buy $100, you get it for free? How does that work?
I know the Dan's Markets here, they had a subscription service where I think you pay so much a year and you get your deliveries for free.
Okay.
Or it's like if you order so much, it's for free or whatnot. But I haven't really used that.
I haven't used it a whole lot either, so I'm not real familiar, obviously, with how it works. I shop so much, Chris. I have no clue.
KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union studio.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Jimmy Carter's casket pausing at the Georgia State Capitol this hour, then the former president to lie in repose at the Carter Center. Today marking the beginning of a string of ceremonies honoring the former president.
Tuesday, his body will be flown to Washington, D.C., where he will lie in state at the U.S. Capitol. A national service at Washington's National Cathedral planned for Thursday before his remains are flown back to his Georgia hometown for a private burial. Faith Abube, ABC News, Plains, Georgia.
President-elect Trump has been ordered to make another appearance, either in person or virtually, for sentencing for his New York hush money conviction on January 10th. Sources telling us that newly re-elected Speaker Mike Johnson told House Republicans during a closed-door policy retreat today that President-elect Trump wants Congress to pass one sweeping bill full of his priorities through the budget reconciliation process. This is ABC News. In the investigation into the suspect behind the Cybertruck explosion outside President-elect Trump's Las Vegas hotel, the FBI searching for answers. ABC's Mola Lengi on what's been learned about the suspect, Matthew Livisberger.
Authorities releasing new surveillance images showing him at a Tesla charging station as he made his way from Colorado to New Mexico, Arizona, and Nevada. That Cybertruck rented via the app Turo. Livisberger pulling into the hotel valet at 7:35 a.m. Wednesday before pulling out, returning an hour later. And then, just 17 seconds later, the explosion.
Washington House Speaker Mike Johnson pulling out a victory at the last minute, retaining the gavel, but only a razor-thin margin, winning his job back only after more than an hour of standstill on the floor and then pressure on holdout votes from President-elect Donald Trump. I'm Dave Packer, ABC News.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Supertalk 1270, Bismarck area weather.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Bormans. Mostly cloudy and cold today with highs near 3 above, wind chill values as cold as 20 below. Mostly cloudy tonight with lows near -8. On Sunday, mostly cloudy, not quite as cold, but still pretty chilly, a high of only 6 above. Looking for a great place to live, stay, shop, and play? It's easy to get to Worthington, Minnesota. It's worth a look. Right now, it's 1 above 0.
From ABC Sports, I'm Joey Waller. College hoops today. Number 10 Kentucky escapes 6th-ranked Florida. The Gators' first loss.
Bounces it to Carr, left of the circle, 7 to shoot. Carr puts it behind his back, goes left, hands it to Butler. 4 seconds, back to Carr. Open left corner for 3.
Andrew Carr, 14 points. Cats Radio during their 106-100 win. Colby Bryant, 23 off the bench. Walter Clayton Jr. scores 33 in the loss. Right now, late second, top-ranked Tennessee all over Arkansas, 83-58. Meanwhile, halftime or late first, it's Iowa State leading Baylor 33-21. Houston 46, BYU 28. UCLA tied 24-all at Nebraska. Duke a 41-32 lead at SMU. Second half, Mississippi State with a 45-18 bulge on South Carolina. And in the first, Arizona up 26-19 at Cincinnati. Earlier, Ole Miss 63-51 over Georgia. Elsewhere, the Heat suspend disgruntled star Jimmy Butler 7 games for conduct detrimental to the team. In a statement, Miami says it'll try granting Butler's trade request. ESPN's Shams Charania reports.
And they will continue to engage with teams. And you think about it, over 5+ years in Miami, 2 runs to the NBA Finals, another Eastern Conference Finals appearance for Jimmy Butler. And just 8 days ago, Pat Riley came out and said, we are not trading Jimmy Butler. Now the Heat are fully open for business.
Meanwhile, the Bulls will retire Derrick Rose's #1 jersey next season. Bahamas Bowl today, Buffalo all over Liberty 26-7. The father of Georgia football coach Kirby Smart, Sonny Smart, died today after complications from hip surgery following his fall in New Orleans before the Sugar Bowl. Sonny Smart was 76. Joey Waller, ABC Sports.
Struggling with back taxes or unfiled returns? Owe the IRS $10,000 or more? With the IRS ramping up enforcement, taxpayers across the country are turning to tax relief helpers. Call 800-885-0622 now. End IRS stress today. Stop collection efforts, wage garnishments, and sleepless nights. Tax relief helpers can help you or your business settle your tax debt quickly and affordably. Call the Tax Relief Helpers hotline at 800-885-0622. That's 800-885-0622. Start your
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details. Bills piling up? Rent due? Just need some extra cash to get by? Then you need to go to GetCash.com, where you can get approved for a loan of up to $10,000 in minutes. No need to search through endless loan sites. GetCash.com is one of the largest lender networks. They can help anyone get up to $10,000 regardless of their credit score. Best part? The money can be in your bank account as soon as the next day. When you need fast cash help, go to GetCash.com. That's GetCash.com.
Program schedule, updated local news, sports, contests, and more. Visit today at supertalk1270.com.
Portions of the following program are pre-recorded.
Welcome to the Tech Ranch, where we explore the world of living with technology. Get ready to take a deep dive into the latest gadgets, apps, and innovations with your hosts, the Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson, and his trusty co-host, Steve Bakken. Join us on this exciting journey, and don't forget to visit thetechranch.com for even more exclusive content. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Marlo and Steve to the Tech Ranch.
Well, I know you're on. Your time is running short with us, Alice, but do you have time for one more segment here? A little bit. Okay, wonderful. So we're talking about how to save money and using the tools we have with us to save money now. And Alice has really she did a really great job earlier in the show. So go back to that, everybody, if you didn't get a chance to listen to it on your local station, or of course you can catch the Tech Ranch anywhere on Spotify or whatever later on. So listen to those tips if you're looking for ways to save money. She has some great ways to save, buying food and restaurants and travel and all that good stuff. That was a lot of fun. And then I asked ChatGPT to give us some tips on how to save money, and it gave us this list of 10. We reviewed the first 8. We were just getting into 9 on the list, which was learning and skill development. And we were talking about discover free or low-cost learning platforms to gain skills instead of paying for courses. So there's a lot of free type of things out there to learn on. And I would even go so far as to say that a lot of people just use YouTube for a lot of that stuff.
I think.
Talk about Max, for example, right?
So much on.
When Max was younger, what did he love to do?
Everything.
Yep, and he loved to draw. And this is our grandson, who is now 18. No kidding. But he learned right away, in school, there's no animation classes. How do you draw Mickey Mouse and things like that, right? And he learned right away that he could go to YouTube and do this himself. I mean, I remember the first time I seen him draw something, I'm like, where did you learn how to do this? And he just said, well, I just watch YouTube.
Yeah.
What was he, 5 or 6 or something like that?
By the time he started using YouTube, 5. But that little boy was drawing amazing things.
Yeah, and he
got an incredible talent.
And he would learn by watching the world's best animators.
Yes,
that's the thing about it.
He did.
He had all this at his fingertips. So it didn't matter in that particular sense that he didn't have this available to him at school.
Right, because he got it on YouTube.
Yes.
And just continued to his craft.
So there's all kinds of things like that out there. And you can use ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever, for DIY tutorials. You can access guides, or you can create guides like coding, cooking, crafting. You can just ask artificial intelligence how to make a turkey on Thanksgiving. If you've never made a turkey before, you now have a tool that you can just ask, and it will guide you through that.
Christmas.
Yes. Although that would be funny if it did.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. So again, there are a lot of ways, and I know we're going off the script here a little bit when we're talking about this stuff, but there's just so many ways that you can, use artificial intelligence to save money. The last thing on the list of the 10 of 10 is debt management. And the first thing it talks about is repayment strategies. Let's say you came into a little money. Let's say you got $10,000 from a tax return, right? You could ask ChatGPT, are you better off to put it in savings that you would get this amount of money or pay off my car, right? And it would actually help you evaluate that so that you would have the best return on that money that you have, So that is interesting, I think.
That's very interesting because I think people automatically think, okay, I came into $10,000. Boy, I just need to pay off bills.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what people automatically think.
And that might not be the best course of action for you.
It might be.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on, there's just a lot of things. If ChatGPT, for example, might bring this out and say, well, if you paid this off, are you disciplined enough to actually then take that money and put it into savings later on? Or are you just going to go out and buy more beer or ribs or whatever it is that you love to spend money on, right? So that's what I think, ChatGPT and Gemini or whatever can help you with as well. The last thing on the list is consolidation advice. Get basic information on consolidating loans or reducing interest rates. So if you get a credit card offer in the mail and it's saying, hey, we can help you. You can transfer your high interest credit cards to our card and 0% for 12 months. But then it says, but there's that little thing on there, but we charge you a 3% fee for doing it, one-time fee, right?
Right.
So is it better for you to do that or not?
Right.
Right. So this again, you can pose this question to your artificial intelligence and it will help you decide what is the best route for you to go. So all kinds of stuff.
Because you really, with those things, you really have to look at that fund. Always.
Yes. So we have a couple minutes before you have to go. There's more to the show. Chris Van de Venner is going to be coming on, by the way, for all you Apple enthusiasts. He's going to be, showing off his Apple intelligence in a little bit here. That'll be a lot of fun, actually. I'm just making fun of Chris and the rest of you who love Apple. I'm an Android person, so we just have a little fun with it. Yeah, I know. It's upset. Oh, I have nothing against Apple. I'm just not used to it. That's all there is to it. We've talked a lot about a lot of different things, Alice, today. Is there any takeaways from everything that we talked about that you think is like the biggest thing that a person could do to save money?
Well, I think using ChatGPT and posing a lot of those questions, because a lot of that goes over our heads as just, regular people. So I think using artificial intelligence and posing those questions and getting some serious answers.
And I know a lot of people are afraid of using AI, but
they are.
This is what you have to do. And you could just tell it right away, hey, I've never used artificial intelligence before or ChatGPT. So I always, when I don't know how to ask it a question, I always end it with, what else do you need to know?
That's a very good way to end it, because then it tells you.
It does.
Yes. It tells you what else you need to give it. So
right.
Be smart.
That's exactly right. So you can prompt it even though you don't really know. And if I wanted to know how to light up this room, for example, with lighting so we have a better photograph, I could just say that. How would I do that? And it would give me some type of answer, right? But then you would say, what other questions do you need to know? Or what other, and it would say, well, what kind of room are you in? What kind of lights do you have? Blah, 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 blah. So it helps you with that. So you have to ask the question.
Yes. And the more details you give it, better.
Well, I appreciate you taking time from your busy schedule to help everybody today. I learned a lot.
I do too.
I appreciate that. And we'll be talking to Chris next. So stay tuned here.
And we're back with the Tech Ranch. Get ready for more amazing tech insights from the guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And welcome back, everybody. Mr. Chris Mandan is in the house.
His house. How's it?
DC MacNut?
Yeah.
Where'd you come up with that name?
Oh,
I understand the DC part. So did you have that did you coin that when you were living in DC?
yeah. I got an invite to a very early iteration of Gmail and figured, well, I'm sitting at my Macintosh and I'm kind of a nutcase and I live in DC. So,
and so you've had this handle for a few years.
20 years.
Wow. And
20 plus, yeah.
And don't you have a website dedicated to this too?
I have dcmacnut.com, but it's not really linked to anything right now other than getting me into my WordPress account.
Okay.
But I have chrisvandeventure.com, which apparently existed at some point. And
very cool.
I got bizmanapps.com a few years back when I was trying to get into the phone and the iPad and the iPhoneography kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
so it's not about who's got the best apps in town for food.
No.
See, that would probably be a better way to you could have apps on apps or something like
that's right. I could. I did one Olympic one back when we did the Tech Ranch in the old days.
Yeah.
And
in the olden days.
And then Square Photography.
That's kind of how we met each other, isn't it?
Yeah.
On this show.
That's right.
Back in the old days when we were actually at the studio.
Right.
And before we got into this new fancy studio.
Fancy.
Yeah. Because you came in, you were kind of not to revisit history, but you were our official iPhoneographer.
That's right.
Go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to everybody what iPhoneography is.
iPhoneography, it's sort of like when the iPhone first came out. This was back when camera phones started being a little bit more than just cheesy little ways to record selfies. And the cameras just got better and better and better. And then the ability to have a computer in your hand to do the editing and everything, it just kind of grew from there. And it just got to be a point where the old adage was that the best camera you have is the one that's with you. And now everybody's got one in their pocket.
Right.
And it was just about, don't just think about it as a limitation. Use that limitation to your advantage. And it actually makes you think harder about framing and looking at the scenery as far as, okay, how do I make a really good photo with this rather than just picking up a camera going click? So it's the whole thing. It's the apps. It's being able to use the device. And now you can take really, really great pictures with it. Yeah.
I've never heard of an Android version like Androidography or something like that. It doesn't come off the tongue as easy.
No, when I first got involved, they tried to coin like mobiography.
Oh, okay.
So like mobile photography.
Yeah, yeah.
But really, iPhoneography is kind of taken root. Podcasting, that was back when iPods were a thing.
Right, right.
But you don't need an iPod for them.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Just because of generic term.
Yeah. So I know we're going to be talking a little bit about the new release of the Apple iOS and the Apple Intelligence part of things, right? So did they just take artificial intelligence and just swap out artificial with Apple? Is that the idea here? Or
my understanding is when they first kind of announced it, it was more along the lines of, it was kind of the play on that AI, Apple Intelligence, artificial intelligence.
It's clever, by the way.
Yeah. It was more along the lines of that we're going to integrate the AI portion of this to your device so we don't have to send it out to the cloud. Right now, if you're using ChatGPT or Gemini, you're using somebody else's server.
That's true. Yes.
You can choose to share information with ChatGPT using Apple Intelligence. But the idea is that the processing happens on your device as opposed to somewhere else.
Interesting.
So it kind of marries Apple's desire for more privacy for people with the idea of being able to use these new AI tools to create.
So does the phone itself then have an incredible amount of memory of information, or is it still pulling that from the cloud and then using the processing of the phone to determine what it's going to give you for answer?
I don't really know the answer to that. I just know that the Apple Intelligence is only available on their newest chips. So the iPhone 16 has a chip that is powerful enough to run Apple Intelligence.
Okay.
I have an iPad Air 13-inch. It's chip well able to do Apple Intelligence, but I've been having some issues getting Siri to talk to me today that maybe it's not quite up to snuff yet. When I first was reading about it, they said, if you want to use ChatGPT, you have to have an iPhone. You can't use your iPad. But I was able to connect ChatGPT to this last night.
Okay.
So I think there's some limitations, but it's really the more recent processors that are going to be able to tackle the processing power that Apple's using.
My guess would be that there'll be some information on board, so you don't have to be connected to the internet in order to use basic artificial intelligence or Apple Intelligence. And I think that and my best example would be with taking photographs. My guess is that you're going to start, and maybe it already does this. I know my phone does this. If I want to put it in its mode, it actually gives you tips on how to make the photo better. Have you seen this?
I have not tried it out.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually, where if you're, taking a picture of a group of people, for example, it'll say, tilt your phone a little bit this way, or they'll have arrows in there to show you how to get the best possible shot. It actually talks a lot about backlighting too, because that's always a big deal. Take pictures with people with the sun behind them, and of course everybody just gets washed out,
right?
That type of thing. So it's interesting, the stuff that's being built into our phones now, and it'll only get better, in my opinion. So
I've been playing around with Apple's Image Playground, and you can create new avatars for yourself. You kind of upload it talks to your photo library, and you upload your own photo, and then it will actually generate this is a very disturbing animated version of me. But I played around with one of my son's pictures. With Cal. A National Day calendar mascot. I said it give me a talking calendar holding a donut, and now doesn't quite look like Cal, but it's a pretty good pass for a calendar holding a donut.
Yeah.
And then even the new emojis, Genmoji, that give me a calendar holding a slice of pizza.
I need to do that one of these days. I do not have an avatar of myself or whatever. What did you call it? No.
Genmoji.
Genmoji is what they're called.
Yeah, generated emoji.
Yeah.
It's for those people that just feel like the library of existing emojis is not enough.
And do you have any idea how many there are right now?
As official emojis?
Yeah.
No.
It's going to be a crazy amount.
There is.
That'd be something we could ask artificial intelligence for, right?
Yeah.
So, after the break, everybody, we'll actually ask and find out how many emojis there are. Stay tuned.
You've returned to the Tech Ranch, where technology is our passion. Let's jump back into the conversation with Marlo and Steve.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Van Deventer in the house, and we're talking about howdy. We're talking about. I'm just anxious to get to the next topic here. So, we're talking about iPhoneography, iPhones, the new release 18.2, and Apple Intelligence for all of you Apple users out there. And right before the break, we talked about how many emojis there are. And did you write it down?
Well, my Siri came back with 3,300, but I think you had Google look at it's like 3,700.
3,790 in the Unicode standard as of September 2024. So there must be a place that the Unicode standard is there. You obviously have to apply to get your emoji.
Well, Unicode is basically how all those special characters are generated on computers.
That's correct. Yes.
Site body of what's official.
Yeah.
Mainly used for even for Asian languages, Japanese characters, Chinese characters, non-Roman alphabets, things like that.
I wasn't aware that emojis though fell into a Unicode type of scenario. That's really interesting to me.
And then I think what it is that it defines what the character is, but then like Google or Samsung or whoever, they get to decide how it's portrayed. Like I think it used to be that there was a handgun emoji. Well, now Apple displays that as a squirt gun.
Ah, gotcha.
kind of thing.
Yes. Well, and how many smiling ones can you have?
Oh,
I have to look. I look at those. I always have the one that I just go to, which is the cheesy smile. But there's 18 or 20 of them just in that alone. I would think that they could maybe get rid of those and add a few others.
Sunglasses, Groucho Marx.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puke emoji, which my son has used against us a couple of times.
Ah, interesting.
Ghosts, cats.
I truly believe I've only used maybe 3. I use the sunglasses one occasionally. Of course, the cheesy smile, and then the thumbs up, which I know is out of, it's not part of the pop culture anymore. Nobody uses thumbs up, but to me, it's like a great way to just say, "Hey, that's a great idea." Thumbs up, So, yeah. All right. Well, so tell me a little bit about your expectation of Apple Intelligence.
Well, I think by and large, particularly from the photography side of things, a little bit, because AI has kind of always been involved in photography, whether you're using Photoshop or whatnot. It's lightening colors, white balancing after the fact, sharpening. So that's been some sort of base level software processing. And I think software processing has always been part of photo production. I'm thinking it's more going to be, because an AI generated image is not a photograph.
Right.
It's just, it can be classified as art. It could be classified as, something creative, but it's not a photo. And I think that's where people are starting to get a little bit more frustrated, is that there are AI images that are winning photo contests. And so it's like, no, you need to be upfront about, was this generated by AI? And I think the last time I was on talking with Steve about this, Apple has been saying, we want to capture reality. And then anything you do to enhance that reality needs to be transparent. Whereas Google is saying that there is no such thing as a real photograph, because the minute you take a picture, it's not real.
Yeah, it's already involved.
Right.
Because it's not a digital, it's not an SLR. I even have a hard time just saying that as, like a 35 millimeter camera with just lenses on it. And even some of those were being manipulated back in the day. You had to go back a long ways to have a glass lens that was used to take photographs that was truly based on the eye of the photographer.
Right.
So
mirrorless. And it's like, if you always took a picture, it always compressed it down somehow.
Right.
To JPEG. And
right.
Taking a raw image.
So that's interesting. And I think, and I don't know if you remember this, but because me, I guess I'm always experimenting and playing with stuff, and AI has been my fascination now for the last couple of years, and the stuff that I generate, and I think it's pretty cool. But I think it was DALL-E, which is OpenAI's version of image generation. If you're not familiar with DALL-E, DALL-E. And that has come a long ways, by the way, too. I just looked at DALL-E just a week or two ago. I was just like stunned at how much better that has become too. But I use Google a lot for image generation nowadays. And not that they're the greatest either, but they have this Gen something or another, Gen 2 now. That's just remarkable. And anyway, I posted this image. The prompt was create an image of an aurora borealis over rural Glenburn, North Dakota. I actually gave it very specific stuff with an abandoned farmstead and in the fall and blah, blah, blah. I really got pretty creative, and I created this just amazing aurora borealis in this setting, right? And I posted it on my Facebook. And I don't think I even put any words to it. I just posted to it. And I had hundreds of comments about how beautiful this is and blah, blah, blah. It took until, and I don't remember the number, but like the 90-second comment before somebody said, this was generated by AI. It took that long.
Yeah.
I was just like stunned. I was expecting to be called out on it right away. But the thing that I learned from that, it's so easy to fool people with these type of things. And if it's easy to fool people with something that I did, imagine somebody who actually knows what they're doing. And it really opened my eyes a lot too to, the opportunities for political motivation and all of this other stuff that I know we just went through a presidential race and all these things, but there'll be all kinds of things that'll come up for years to come now about, this was not a real image and this wasn't a real video during the presidential campaign. And this will always be a thing moving forward.
Right. Back in the day, when I was working out in DC, there was a picture that got circulated around about someone tried to claim that there was a politician who wasn't very patriotic because he was using the wrong hand for the Pledge of Allegiance. But it was clearly they had cut it and they had flipped.
Oh my goodness!
Body,
yeah,
to make it look like
it was just a mirrored image.
But now you don't even need to edit an existing photo; just make a cool clock.
Yeah. It's crazy the manipulation that will go on. And we pick on politics, but it can be anywhere. It can be any company that wants to manipulate you. The image is the Coca-Cola commercial. This Christmas season was totally AI, and they got called out on it too. They didn't hide behind it. They said it was.
No, they were upfront about it when they first aired it. But then there was a commercial from a natural soda company that we'll talk about after the break.
Welcome back to the Tech Ranch. Let's get back to discovering the latest in technology with the guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Vandeman in the house, and we were just talking about creating images, creating video, that type of thing, using artificial intelligence. I had made the comment that Coca-Cola, of course, had that artificially generated commercial that they did for Christmas. And of course, Coca-Cola has done a Christmas commercial for many, many years. And then you had stated a different scenario. So what did you say?
Yeah, there was I saw it on, I can't remember, was it on Hulu or something, just one of those inserted ads. And there's a company called Zevia that makes what they call natural sodas. They're not artificial.
Yeah.
And they had an AI generated ad that really went after Coca-Cola, and it was people with multiple arms and
oh my goodness, I didn't see this.
Yes, they do all sorts of craziness. They take AI to the next level.
Weird faces and all this stuff. Oh my goodness.
Hey, fake soda, meet real soda. That was genius.
That is genius. That's fantastic. Yeah. I have to look that commercial up. That's a great use.
It's like, once I'm reading an article here on an ad TV stuff, it's like, remember that old statements like, hold my beer, I'm going to do this. It's like, hold my organic non-GMO soda.
Well, you had just brought something up while we were on break about searching for images.
Yeah. For a while now in the Apple's photo app, it'll actually scan your photos and it'll say, okay, here's all the photos that look the same. I've always been able to say, give me beach photos or give me photos of my son Carter, and it'll actually learn what's in their photo and it'll give you a kind of sort them that way. But now you can, rather than it being limited by one or two words, you can actually type out whole phrases. It's like, give me all of the photos from the Cayman Islands where we're wearing sunglasses and create a movie. Or,
oh, wow.
It says here, like, search for somebody skateboarding in a tie-dye shirt. Create movie memories using natural language based on your photos and videos. Cleanup tools have always been important. You can always do the not auto delete, but what is it? Adobe calls it contextual fill, where it'll erase something behind there and try to replace what's
right. So if you have a person that's on the beach that's behind you, you can erase that person and it'll fill in the ocean or something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something we've been using with photos for forever.
Right. So let's go back to the searching for a little bit though. So is it going and going through your archives or your I have photos. I'm actually surprised. I was just in my vault with Google going back to 2002. Now, my guess is, because I think we started to take photos in 2002?
Yeah.
maybe, I mean, with our flip phones and stuff, we were starting to take photos, but they weren't really backed up anywhere. But it's possible I had some of these photos on a hard drive or something, then backed them up to Google Photos, right? So is it starting to go back in those archives? And so it recognizes me, right? And it goes back, and it actually goes back all the way as far back as archives go. And they have some type of AI or something that's going through all of those photos now, kind of spidering them and putting the pieces together so that, this is what who Marlo was back then, who Marlo is now. Is that what's going on here?
Possibly. I'm just typed in here Shannon on the beach.
Okay.
So it's basically all the pictures my wife and I took to the Cayman Islands for a friend's wedding. Then so we're standing on a beach.
So are you able to take that further? I mean, how many years do you have photos in the
I think
Apple?
Back to 2011.
Okay.
I don't know if they're all on this device or not.
So how many times have you taken pictures of the two of you on a beach?
Well, let's see here.
Okay. I'm just curious how far back this goes. If it's just a couple of years or if it'll actually determine all the way back to the beginning of your archive.
Yeah, it's going all the way back. It's got pictures of me in San Diego in 2017. Pictures was from the plane, swimming with the stingrays.
That is really, really amazing. And I love, as much as I hate facial recognition and the recognition of things, I guess you could say, there are some things that I really like it for, and you're going through, have you experienced facial recognition yet in airports?
I have not.
Okay. So that's become more and more a thing in some larger airports.
I would maybe change that because, when I went to Japan for the National Doge Day event, I went to customs.
Oh yeah,
immigration, just making it a screen.
Yes, yes. So it saw you, pulled up your record, and they just sent you right through, right? Yeah.
Even come back to the States after we went to the games in Georgia, same thing.
Yeah. So that's really cool. And that's kind of getting to that, is that it really speeds up those processes with facial recognition. I don't care for it when I'm going through an airport, for example. Well, I mean, there's pluses and minuses to this. So Delta, for example, knows when you're walking through airports. And because it sees, they have cameras placed in there, and you can look at the app and it'll actually, you're by the Chick-fil-A stand. If you take a left, there's sushi over here. I'm like, what? You're just like, how do you know this? And then you realize that they have cameras and they recognize who you are, and even in the large crowd in an airport, and they can direct you now to wherever you want to go to eat or whatever.
More because I've always felt like we needed GPS for inside shops.
Yes, but not facial recognition.
Yeah, to know exactly where you are standing at that.
Yeah. And I mean, there's good and bad to that. I would imagine if there's a crime that's perpetrated, it's nice to have those type of things. But at the same time, it feels like a huge invasion of privacy. You just can't even go anywhere anymore.
We just watch any of the FBI shows on TV, and it's like, okay, we need to find this guy. And boop, boop, boop. Okay, he's on the Lincoln Park Expressway.
Right, right. It's truly becoming that way. But anyway, even searching your archives now, right? So you could go back if you have, a relative or a friend that's passed away and you want to look that person up in your archives, you can just do that now. You can just type their name in and bang, there they are.
And I think Apple's done a really good job in their commercials for Apple Intelligence, of making it relevant. There's the one where the daughters wake up and they give dad a birthday present, and then mom's in the background. She's like, crap, I forgot his birthday.
Yeah.
And so she quickly goes into her phone and says, woodworking with the girls, and hands him the phone. And it's all these pictures of him and his little two girls over the years. And he's all so emotional that she would remember that. And she walks away and just smiles at the camera.
Amazing. All right, Chris, pleasure having you on the show. Yeah. And thanks for joining us, everybody. And we'll see you again next week.
And that's a wrap on another fantastic episode of The Tech Ranch. Remember, if you have any questions or want to suggest topics for future shows, visit thetechranch.com and send us your thoughts. You can also listen to past episodes and watch exclusive interviews not featured on the radio show. Be sure to follow Marlo and Steve on social media by clicking the links at thetechranch.com. Until next time, keep exploring the world of living with technology.